Brought to you direct from Studio 3B at Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, the American Hardwood Advisor is your source for trends, tips, and insights into how the building industry has evolved. Join me, Steve Stack, along with guest builders and industry leaders as we talk shop and go in depth on what it takes to be the best of the best. Dive into topics like architecture, industry trends, project plans, historical tools, tricks of the trade, and life's lessons from more than 6 decades of experience in the hardwood lumber business. Hello everybody, Steve Stack here, back at Studio 3B. We've got a really neat little segment for you today on the American Hardwood Advisor. I have a special guest, a third generation Baird, Miss Sarah Schaefer. Hello, Sarah.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, thanks for taking the time to come back and join us. And you are a recently newer addition to 7060 Croy Road. You've been around your whole life, but you had a little adventure before you wound up back here. So welcome back home.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
And I gotta ask, you've been a busy young lady. Went through high school, went off to school at the Ohio University of Worcester, right? Mm-hmm. What did you study at Worcester?
So I studied animal science at Ohio State Worcester.
And you came out of Worcester, and where'd you go from there?
So from Worcester, I got a job with the state of Ohio as a meat inspector, and I inspected local meat processing plants for about 2 years.
And I didn't realize it was 2 years. So you've got some miles behind you. Did some traveling in the process of visiting the different facilities. Probably met some friends.
Oh, absolutely.
Made some new acquaintances, right? And your background, that seemed fitting, right? I mean, you were born and raised on a farm around the animals. You were active the whole way through with the 4-H programs and the open shows and showing pigs, showing cattle, messed with the horses a little bit.
Oh yeah, draft horses a little bit there.
You know, so you were definitely involved in that the agricultural side of things, which that's cool. And at some point, you decided to come back to Croy Road. And we're glad you did. We're really glad you did. You can tell the folks, or I can introduce, you have a beautiful baby girl, 7 months old, I think, somewhere around there. And she kind of persuaded you to come back to Croy Road. Absolutely,
yeah.
a little easier having a standard hours kind of job versus the facilities that you had to visit at all hours of day and night.
Absolutely.
Good. And you and your husband are still heavily involved in the agriculture.
Yeah. We have a crop farm in Greenford, Ohio, and we also have some livestock, and we do freezer beef.
So you've got the agricultural side covered, and through previous conversations you and I've had, and you explained the difference to me, and you say you grow crops. That's your typical corn, soybean, but you guys take it a step further, and you guys produce food grade crops, correct?
Yeah, we dip a little bit into food grade soybeans.
So what's the difference?
There's certain seed and fertilizer, and there's a lot of rules and regulations when it comes to food grade beans. But the advantage for us raising them is there's a huge selling advantage. They sell at a much higher price than just your conventional beans would.
So attention to detail in tracking the crops and the fertilizers and even the harvesting technique and the sorting and so forth. So that transition to your knowledge of detail and the practice of detail transitioned you right into the role that you've taken up here at the offices, and go ahead and tell the folks what you're up to on your day-to-day here at the mill.
Yeah, so day to day, I handle all of the accounts receivable for our accounts, and I also assist my Uncle Scott in payables. I do most of the bill entering and things here and there for him. If he's off, I cover in his spot, and so that's what I've been doing here. And a lot of my previous experiences has really helped me as far as, you know, record keeping and working with the public, and you know, a lot of it may not directly apply, but there was a lot of indirect skills that I learned in those years that I've brought back.
And those are all very important, but I think we're missing one of the most important, and sometimes being in the accounts receivable department might not be the most enviable task, but you bring a personality that allows you to kind of smooths things over a little bit when need be, or, and I've seen it, you can be pretty tough.
Yeah, so I grew up with 4 brothers, so I've learned throughout the years, I'm pretty laid back for the most part. You have to be with 4 brothers or else you'd be pulling your hair out a lot. And but I've also learned when it's time to put your foot down and hold your line.
And one thing that I respect of you, and you came in over the years. You've heard some of the names of the customers and this and that, but if you run into a situation, you know there's always a backstory, and if you run into a situation, you've got yourself into the habit of coming and talking to me or to Mr. Donatelli or to Scotty or your dad Matt. You know, and every situation that you encounter is unique, and it has to be treated like such. No?
Oh, absolutely. There's around here. I guess I've been working here for around 2 years now, and but that's nothing. It's like 30 years, I think, is the minimum to now. So there's certainly.
What was that in reference to?
There's a lot of people around here that have much more knowledge on contractors and previous situations that we've been in. So I try to, whenever I get in a situation I'm not sure how to navigate, just use my resources along the way, and it's worked out pretty well.
Yeah, and it's a big task, and you're doing a fantastic job of it, and you know, like a lot of us, you're gonna build life's relationships with a lot of these people. I mean, you and I both know we're nothing without them, and we have to find a way to make a two-way street work and have that line of communication, and go on to the next project and the one after that. So again, nice job on that. We've touched on the task of the accounts receivable side. I think that's the smaller challenge of your day-to-day. Right now, I know you're situated in the same office as your father. How in the world does that work out throughout the course of the day?
Well, I don't think anybody here has their own office, so I don't have many options. But no, I enjoy working next to my dad day to day. It's really a privilege to just get to have his wisdom and knowledge sitting right there in the desk next to me, and you know, be a part of that, because he's worked hard here in his life, and he has knowledge that is, you know, unmatched to me or to any of my siblings. And so we definitely need his guidance along the way, and it's nice having him right there.
You know, and that's important, and I don't have to remind you because you appreciate it every day. And I had the same fortune of up until the time I moved out of the house, I rode to work every day with my father and came here for years and years and years. And then we worked side by side here. You not only have your father, you've got your 2 brothers,
Zach and Ben.
Okay, and then you have the matriarch.
Oh, yes, the one and the only.
Miss Margot,
yes,
Grandma,
my
right?
Grandma.
And we can't overlook the fireball who heads up our human resources, and and your Aunt Lori, right?
Absolutely.
So you really have, you experience it, I've experienced it, we talk about, a lot of people talk about it. It's a family business, there's got to be problems.
Oh, absolutely.
But end of the day, you're all still family.
Yeah.
And people that have never experienced it, and we can never take it for granted. It's a privilege working with your family.
It is, and
right?
I think that's one of the things that I gained so much, in my years working for the state and going to school and stuff, is I came back with a different appreciation that I don't think I would have had coming in the gate right out of high school.
It's a big world out there.
It is, yes, it's very big.
You know what? And in mentioning that, your Aunt Lori, she did the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Your brother Zach did the same thing.
Yeah.
Benny, he went out and tried some different things. And when you come back to the family business, you guys are held to the same regard as everybody else on this facility.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? And the street might be paved, but it's not always smooth.
There's definitely some potholes along the way.
Yeah, so, and that's good. That's good, because that brings that appreciation. Mm-hmm. It brings appreciation to family. It brings appreciation to your coworkers, mm-hmm. and brings appreciation to our customers and the business as a whole. Mm-hmm. And that's something that your grandfather Richard, one of the things he appreciated most was two of the things: his employees and his customers. Mm-hmm. And so it's great to see that being picked up by the third generation, and keeping that in our approach to our customer base, and moving forward and beyond. Mm-hmm. You've been around as long as I can remember, from the time you were Gracie's age at 7, right? Mm-hmm. Anything in particular, looking back, memories that influenced you in saying, you know what, I want to go back to Corey Road. Mm-hmm. I belong there. Mm-hmm. Any memories you can share with us?
So I think just like along the way, working with family has its challenges. It's not easy at all, but I think it says a lot that along the way, everybody's still here. We're still one family. And when you take a step back and look at that, it's pretty impressive, because, it's not easy, but we all still come together at the end of the day. So for me, I look back at that and I see everybody still here, still together, and that's something I want to be a part of.
And you hit on something, and I don't know for our audience, they may or may have not heard me say, going back to when, I won't say how old I was, back in the mid to late 70s. Excuse me. One thing stands out in my mind. Your Uncle Howard, your mm-hmm. Uncle Hatch, who is still here every day in his pickup truck, mm-hmm. and your Grandpa Richard. Mm-hmm. Before the day was over, they would spend 5-10 minutes circled around the bed of a pickup truck and having conversation, communication with each other. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it was loud, other times it wasn't. But everybody came back in the morning with the same goal. Yeah,
and that still very much happens today. It might not be out in the parking lot around the bed of a pickup truck. It might be in an office or, in another situation, but it still very much happens today.
Oh, yeah, and it's important. You, along with 5 other third generation, we're up to 6 third generation now, correct? Mm-hmm. We've talked with yourself, with your cousins, with your aunts and uncles, just like when they were coming into the business as second generation, and just like you guys, with fire in your belly and, you know, let's take on the world. And I've said it to you guys, as I said it to your aunts and uncles and your father. They're going to listen to whatever you guys say, right? Mm-hmm. Do they always act on it?
No, there's definitely a lot of opinions and a lot of different ideas as to, you know, how to grow the business and how to evolve and make different things better. That, you know, this is a larger business, and I don't understand everything that Ben does in a day, and, you know, we don't all understand we understand what everybody does, but we don't have the knowledge, the nitty-gritty detail, you know. And so when someone comes to the table with an idea, it really takes all of us, as all portions of the business, to come together and decide whether or not it's going to be something that works. And with that, I will say the second generation has done an amazing job at hearing us all along the way. And not everything is going to happen the way we think it's going to happen, or our ideas are not necessarily going to be put into play, but they will at least sit down and hear what we have to say, and that's probably the start to any struggle.
And that's so important. And we have an ongoing project right now that I know you're involved with. Your brother Benny on the manufacturing side, and Zach on the engineering and manufacturing side. Tyler on the IT side, and with his two guys over in IT, and with a new computer system that we want to launch, make us more efficient, service our customers better. But it takes all that input from, and you guys are scattered across the board, from front offices to manufacturing, everywhere in between. And as a group, we bring that all to a meeting, maybe not all at once, different meetings, whatever, and we kick it around.
Absolutely, yeah. I was just at a meeting this morning, and similar situation with the computer system. Just it takes all different opinions. There's so many portions to this business, and we all have to work together to make it happen.
Very much so, very much so. And you know, that it's exciting to see, and I know my feelings on it, see you and your cousins, the third generation, coming in and taking active major roles in our day-to-day. How do you see that growing?
So I think we were all raised to come in and to take the bull by the horns and do everything we can to help. And I definitely see that in the situation, in our current situation. And I see throughout the years everybody evolving in their roles and maybe moving to different roles. But in the end, I think, you know, we all will evolve into where we're supposed to be. Right now I'm in accounts receivable. Maybe I'll end up there, maybe I won't. And same with some of my other cousins. You know, Brandon and Dylan are helping in the trim shop, and Dylan goes out on trucks, and he does all kinds of different things. But I see us all evolving, and I think time will tell where we'll end up.
And very, very well said in that there's been certain things ingrained into you guys, and work ethic, value of customer, quality product, and those are some things that can never change. We know that. Yeah, we've lived it.
Absolutely.
and it's important that we keep that while we move forward and
yeah, definitely want to keep our core values intact throughout.
We have a profile in that here in our region, especially the Mahoning Valley, we're the big fish in the small pond. But as you know, our business is going national now, and we're a small fish in a much larger pond.
Yeah.
But we have to be the best small fish out there. And if we grow up to be a medium fish, that's good too.
Yeah, yeah.
But we still have to be the best at what we do.
Yes.
And we try that every day. Can you think back over your time here at the mill, any significant changes that you've seen, implementation of new equipment, different procedures and policies that we put in place? Anything jump out at you?
So I think that's, like we previously talked about, the biggest change and I feel one of the biggest improvements for us will be this new computer system. We're operating on a very outdated system, and I think we can do a lot better in a lot of areas in servicing our customers and in making things easier for our salesmen and keeping tallies and orders and things just better all around. I think the computer system will definitely be a project that we'll see through that is going to make a big change for this company.
I think so. The computer system has served us well. With growth and just aging, it's become antiquated, and it's time to refresh and update and leave room for expansion and building out that system down the road as as we grow and like you said, to your point of allowing us to better serve our customers, having information readily available and incorporating them into our new systems. So yeah, that's a biggie. Yeah, that's a biggie.
And also, I've seen my brother, Zach, come back. He was working for another company out in Kansas, and Zach brings definitely a very intense personality to the table, and I think he's going to be really an asset in moving some things around and really making our production and different things, fixing it along the way to where I don't know that some other people could do it. I tend to be a more laid back person, as I already said, but he's definitely an intense person, but I think we need that here.
And I'll rebut you a little bit on that, in that I know that you're a let's get this done kind of person also.
Yeah.
Zach, in his previous stint away from home, again, it's a big world out there.
Oh yeah.
And he saw how some manufacturing was accomplished at a different scale in a different industry. And you're right, he definitely brings some assets back with him, and that's exciting too.
Yeah.
And speaking of exciting, not that the past year or so hasn't been exciting for you, year and a half, 2 years when you were married, and now with your new addition in Gracie. I know you're talking about here in the near future, hopefully, starting construction of a new home.
Yeah.
And that's going to be an exciting time.
Oh, absolutely. We're so excited too.
And just promise me one thing.
Oh dear.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious. I've stood in hundreds and thousands of homes, and I've witnessed the arguments between contractors, between the homeowner, the husband and the wife. Keep it fun.
Oh yeah.
Do your homework.
Oh, absolutely.
And keep it fun.
Yeah.
And it's going to be. It will be fun. And know that there's a whole staff here.
Oh yeah.
That you can bounce ideas off of, and we'll give you as much misdirection as we can give you. So
yeah.
But honestly, seriously, and I know your wheels are turning 6, 8, 10 months, a year down the road. What kind of products are you thinking about using in your new house?
Oh, so my husband has kind of left the interior up to me. He says, you know more about this than I do, so I'm thankful for that. But I truly think putting hardwoods in your home is such an unmatched beauty. And I don't think any other material can capture the beauty that hardwoods does. But so far what we've discussed, we really like character grade hickory, and we also like the live sawn white oak that we recently have been implementing. I think this is live sawn behind us here.
Yeah, we've got the character grade live sawn behind us here on the walls. Two great choices. I know my lifestyle, and not that it's the right approach, but I've said it 1,000 times. I built this house to live in it, not to be a show place.
Oh yeah.
And
well, that's one of the arguments that I've had with my brothers Zach and Ben. You know, I was talking to them about different door and floor combinations that I was thinking of, and they tell me, "Oh, you need to do painted trim. You need to do painted trim." I said, "My husband's a farmer. There will be fingerprints all over that. No, we can't do painted. No white trim, not for me."
no, that's
nothing
good.
wrong with white trim, but
no,
for us, it's not going to work.
Well, I don't know. I've over the years, I've been in some beautiful old farmhouses, and yeah, they get dingered up and beat up a little bit. But I did see a lot of painted trim in some old Craftsman farmhouses too.
I don't know.
Well, when hubby's around, send him down to my office, and we'll have a little conversation.
We'll fingerprint some stuff up, huh?
But seriously, we'll be here for you for all of the decision making, and you know, well, we saw this here, we saw that there, and we'll be here for you through the course of your construction. And like I said, keep it fun, keep it fun, keep it light. So in regards to that, there's been a lot of milestones here at Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods since 1960 to today, 60 plus years of manufacturing fine quality hardwood products, and a lot of memorable moments. I have dozens of memories. Do you have a memory that goes above the rest of them?
Oh geez, this is a tough question, I think here. I definitely have enjoyed, and we haven't been able to do it the past 2 years, but our red, white, and trues. I love, the community and seeing our customers face to face, and I really have missed that the past couple of years, and hopefully we can get back to it.
That's a great answer, and for folks in the audience that don't know, typically the last weekend in September, we host an on-site. It's a carnival, overblown customer appreciation kind of day, and from our 100 plus employees, I normally get about 70 volunteers to work that day. And it's a full day. And I enjoy seeing that because our employees,
they
enjoy it, and they're proud of what we do here. And they are hosts, they're ambassadors that day. So you're right. The last couple of years, we've had to do an off-site event, a virtual type of thing, but it won't be long. We'll be getting back. We'll be getting back to that. And yes, you are absolutely right. That is every year for the past 10 years has been very memorable. Very memorable. With it's been 2 or 3 years ago now, with the interruption that we've experienced. The dedication of the flag post out front. With our relationship with the local VFWs and that, and we always have our friends from Second Harvest Food Bank out, and that's a huge thing. And there's a lot of good things happen that day, and it's easy to get fired up about.
It is, definitely.
So you thought that question was tough. This question is tougher yet. And you might pop an answer off, and I'll say, okay, that's good with me. Where do you see the third generation pushing this company forward in the future?
So I definitely think the third generation brings a set of skills and experiences to the table that's going to take us to the next level. And I can't specifically say where that's going to be yet. I don't know, still is to be determined on the horizon, but I definitely think that we have some very good assets coming up through, and we will be fine in taking this to the next level with the guidance of Uncle Hatch, who's first generation, and all of the second generation along the way.
And I've had an unfair advantage in having witnessed not necessarily the transfer of power, but the transfer of responsibilities from the first generation to the second generation. And now, said respectfully to you kids, the third generation,
Yeah.
right? And like the first generation did for the second generation, they turned over a healthy business.
Oh yeah.
The second generation is working very hard to give you kids that same privilege.
Oh yeah.
And when it is bestowed upon you, pay attention to it, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, and I definitely think the second generation is going to be along for the ride for quite a while here, and we have a lot to learn as the third generation.
And you nailed it. There's a lot to learn and be accepting of learning, and because they have a lot of life's lessons.
They do.
So, Sarah, again, welcome back home.
Thank you.
Great to have you. And folks, pay attention to us on our social platforms. And here in the near future, maybe we'll go visit Sarah up in her office, something like that. But thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to talking to you soon. Sarah, thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
For all you folks listening, thanks for talking shop with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. If you've enjoyed this episode and want to stay up to date with the American Hardwood Advisor series, give us a like and subscribe. For more tips, projects, and inspiration, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, or at BairdBrothers.com. Until next time,